Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. I am an artist. I hope that was obvious. If it's your first time here, thanks for being here. Today I am drawing cats in my sketchbook because I wanted to. The truth is, I'm working on a gouache painting and it's taking a whole lot longer than I thought it would take me. It's like, that was the video that I planned to have up this week, and then it was like, this isn't going to be done, and there's no way the video is going to be done. There's a lot of footage to get through. So I decided to take a little break and draw some cats in my sketchbook. And it was actually really nice for me because sometimes switching gears is just good for your brain. I haven't drawn anything specifically for a while I've been working on this painting, and these first two cats I kind of struggled with. Like, they were definitely the warm-up before the show, I guess you could say. This one's okay, and the second one, I kind of want to do it again at some point because the reference is really cute, but I just don't feel like I captured it very well. Just to say here, this shading that I'm doing was actually that I was putting in where the color on the cat was. So this was an orange striped cat, and I just shaded where the cat was orange, and honestly, that's fine, but I don't really like that choice stylistically. So yeah, I do the same thing with this cat here. I just shade in where the cat is colored. There's a calico, I believe. And I love the silhouette that I captured. And then as I was adding in detail, it just sort of went downhill for me. I don't feel very pleased with this cat. So, but that's kind of the nature of things, and it's okay. It's okay. For anyone curious, I am using a rose col-erase pencil, and I will call out Prismacolor again for halting the sale of individual col-erase pencils. What's up with that? Maybe change your decision back, because it would make lots of artists very happy. Anyway, second attempt on the face here. I think that the first attempt was better. Oh well, you live and learn. I struggled with their faces in this one, except the first three I struggled with their faces. I kind of feel like the eyes are where I get kind of hung up, which is weird because when I'm doing like eyes on people, other than getting the shape right on the second eye, the other eye problem, I don't tend to have this issue, but it's like every time I added the pupils in, for some reason, they just looked a little bit creepy. They looked creepy, so I gotta work on cat eyes in sketches, I guess. I chose cats because I love cats. I have a cat. I will tell you about her in a moment. And there's something I'd like to just be able to draw well, so, practicing from reference, just was a thing I wanted to do, and so I did it. These are just Pinterest references. Anyway, so, my cat. Her name is Drusilla. She is a black void cat. She's named after Drusilla from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she has murder in her little tiny soul. She used to have a brother, not blood related, but also a black cat, called Spike. Also after a Buffy character, because that's the way I roll. And please, I tell you this with some hope that you will in turn tell me about your cats. I would like to know what color they are. I would like to know their names. And anything else you decide you want to tell me, because I love hearing about other people's cats. I don't know. I think it's a cat person thing. But if you're one of them, you might understand. Please tell me about your cat. I would love to hear about your cat. Back to the arting. Also, I guess I'll just say, if you have a dog and you're here, please tell me about your dog. That'd be great. Tell me about your pet. I want to know. Okay. This cat is where things started to go better for me. I did struggle with the face. As you will see in a moment, I do erase it and I try again, and I feel like the second attempt on this one did go better than the first attempt, as opposed to the opposite of that with the second cat. And here we have the pupil issue where the cat looks a little bit creepy again. I gotta work on cat faces. Yeah. I think part of my problem might be that my cat is difficult to see, so even when I'm looking at her all the time, I don't absorb the information because she is the color of the darkness. Yeah, okay. I realize more and more when I'm sketching, I prefer to not completely make things as round as they appear in reference photos. I prefer to add more angles and keep things a little bit more, what's the word I want? Like geometric maybe? I don't know. I like to keep things a little bit more angled because it gives the sketches more structure, in my opinion. And if you're going for really soft curves, there's nothing wrong with that, and sometimes that's the best choice for your subject matter. But I find most of the time I like having that structure. And so like the first cat I didn't really do that. I just kind of went with what I was seeing exactly. And then the second cat, I started to do that, and I think that as I was pushing in that direction, I kind of leaned a little bit too far, and I stopped paying attention to proportions and other details. And here I feel like I really started to kind of get the balance right. This one still looks really very like the reference picture, but the cat was already kind of displaying that sort of angled thing that I was looking for, which really did help. And here, as opposed to just adding the color as shading, I actually shaded where the shadows are, and I like that much better stylistically. I think that a combination of the two would be really good at some point. I just was not warmed up at all. Like, I was finally starting to get there here, but I haven't drawn in quite a while, and oops. Yeah, but this one I quite like, and sorry I cut off the head when I started the sketch of this fourth cat. This is where I really started to feel like I was getting into the groove, and sadly this kitty is kind of stuffed into a corner, so I had to make some changes to like the angle of the tail and such, but that's okay. I still think it turned out quite good, and I really enjoy drawing cats like this, these really long, thin cats, because you can kind of see a little bit more clearly. Not super clearly. Cats are all blobs, even the long, thin ones, but you can see a bit more clearly the muscle shapes and the overall structural anatomy, as opposed to when you get like a really fat, fluffy cat and it's literally just like a shape, either square, rectangle, or circle with legs and a head and a tail. And if you have one of those, you know what I'm talking about. I used to have one of those. Specifically, my sister had one, but I lived with the creature. Her name was Maggie, and someday I will do more art of her. I have a portrait of her on my channel if you want to go check that out. The orange one. But yeah, the long skinny cats are very interesting to draw when learning cat anatomy. But also I do feel like the cats that are more shapeless are just as valuable to draw, because capturing the shapelessness of a cat is actually a challenge. You still have to understand the underlying anatomy to make the blobbiness make sense and look right, which seems like the most contradictory thing to say, but it's true. Yeah, anyway, here with this kitty, this one's my favorite, and I do feel like this is where I really started to be able to get that balance between following what I was seeing in the reference photo and adding in more angular spots and not just sticking to perfect curves. So you've got little corners here and there, and I feel like that looks a lot more dynamic in my opinion, at least when I do it. So this upside down head was quite a challenge. I think I did it twice. I must have left out the first one. But yeah, I do really like how it ended up looking, and this reference photo was just so funny. Like I wanted to be a fly on the wall when this picture was taken, because this cat was outside, just like vibing upside down. And like, what happened? What is the story here? Yeah, so drawing beans is fun. Yeah, drawing their little feets. So this 4 foot that I'm starting, I really enjoyed the shape language in the reference photo, and I tried to capture it with my drawing, and I think that I did. And it's funny because it's a very silly looking cat leg and foot, and yet I really just like artistically, I'm like, yeah, that's so great. I love that. Like the angles and I just silly, but also that's nice kind of thing. And yeah, again here I added the actual shadows that I was seeing. This one was a little bit of a challenge because the lighting was very bright and the cat was mostly white, so it was kind of, there wasn't a lot of shadow to see, and I kind of interpreted it a bit. I darkened it. I added more darker value to that than there actually was. Yeah. And then here I just, label the page and date it, because I find dates in my sketchbook helpful, especially as I'm, when I go back and look through them, it's nice to see when I was doing things. And signature. And yeah, here are some cats. And I'm thinking of continuing the spread onto the other page, except I'm thinking I might study some of Loish's sketches. If you don't know who Loish is, look that up. Loish. Her cat sketch pages are particularly lovely, and I think I would like to do some master studies of those, just because her shape language is so fantastic, and I would love to learn from a master such as herself. So anyway, either that or more cats from photos. If you have an opinion, I would love to hear it. I might not listen to it, but let me know what you think anyway. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. And again, please tell me about your cats in the comments and your other pets, if that's what you have. I love you all. I will see you next time, hopefully with my gouache horse. Okay, peace out. Bye everyone.